started as a technical writer, the first and the most, like I like to say, the most important thing is like you need to have like good enough knowledge of whatever topic you intend to write on, because you can't communicate what you don't know. You have to give what you do. So you should have, you don't need to have like 100% knowledge. As I said, sufficient knowledge. And then in brackets we see research and research and research. You have to keep researching and trying to like look for what your readers would need. Do a lot of research. So you need to have good enough knowledge about whatever topic you want to write. And then number two, avoid procrastination, because a lot of time, a lot of people want to write and they're like, oh, I'll write January. This is already, we are getting to May tomorrow, right? So stop procrastinating. Just start writing. You might feel like you don't know what you want to write, but just start out. You can start with your outline. Oh, how do you intend to draft out your article? You should have like an introduction. You should have like, okay, after your title, introduction, what do you intend to cover in a particular paragraph? Who are your users? How do you intend to, like, because when you're writing an article, you have to progress from A to B, from step 1 to step 2 to step 3. So you need to have an outline and then organize how your content will be organized. The next thing, you need to understand the audience. So sometimes you see articles they write beginner friendly. Sometimes some articles are intermediate friendly. Some are like advanced, because all of these are based on terminologies. Because when you're writing for a beginner, if you're writing HTML, like a tutorial on HTML, you have to like spell out what HTML means, because a beginner might not know what that means. Like you have to understand your audience, and knowing your audience would help you being able to write good article that they would find really important, right? So you need to understand the audience so as to know the kind of terminologies to use and how much details you want to give. Do you think that this particular person will understand what this thing means? If they will not understand, then find something an equivalent to that term you want to use that they would understand. So you need to understand the audience as a technical writer. You have to write like tenses and grammatical errors. In as much as you have an idea of whatever topic you're writing, you will be communicating to them in English language. You have to get your tenses right. You have to get your grammars right. So there is like a course which I think I can always share, Google technical writing course. So this is like a course, it's a free course. You just take it up, like they start from your nouns, pronouns, like basic English language. So what you think like you know is just for you to brush up your English language and be sure that you are writing, because you're going to be writing for a global audience. So you can't, for the native English speakers too. You don't want them to be reading your article and be trying to fix grammatical blunders too. So if possible, when you are done drafting out and writing out your outline, if possible, share with your colleagues to actually proofread and review, because I feel like the best way to actually get a very good article is more than a pair of eyes should see it. You just seeing it alone, you might miss out on like very important details, on some errors that you, because you were the one that wrote it, so you are overlooking, you are not seeing those things. But when you share with someone else, they say, oh, you are supposed to put a 2 here, or you got the spelling of this particular word incorrectly, and also share with a colleague that has like a domain, especially when you're just starting out, a domain knowledge of that particular, So you're right, if you're writing on JavaScript, you should share your article with someone who knows well enough about JavaScript that can tell you, okay, you're not supposed to do this. You're supposed, other than your tenses be correct, you have to be sure that the information you are passing is also correct, because you can't streamline who reads your article. So it's better you put good content out there, so they'll know you as a writer that actually puts good content. When I say, oh, if I see this article from this lady, I know that yes, I'm going to gain something. There's something you should want to talk about. So you need to be able to share, and someone else reviews and then proofread, and also ensure that your code samples work end to end. This is like something I know that yes, I'm as a writer, I always do, because when you are writing, you have to, especially for an article that involves you including code samples. So sometimes you might have experienced it. It works for on the article, it actually works, but on your laptop it doesn't work. Why? So it's as if, why is it working there but it's not working on my own? Probably the writer has overseen something. Maybe you're supposed to call a particular function and the writer forgets to call, like explain that you're supposed to call this particular function, and you don't call it, you are getting error. But like, where is this error coming from? So that's like, for a writer, you have to ensure that after writing your article, go back to your article and imagine yourself as a reader and try to replicate what you've done. Then you now notice that you've missed out on something. Sometimes, okay, import Axios from Axios. In your own, while you were drafting the article, you probably imported it in your code and then you forgot to include it when writing it. And the person is asking, where is Axios code? I've seen a lot lot of articles, and I'm like, where is this thing coming from? Where are you importing? Where is this? Like in the whole of the code, you are not seeing anything like that, but somewhere in the code, somewhere along the line, you are seeing them being used. So where is it coming from? You did not import it, but you're using it somewhere else. So that is like, you have to ensure that your code stamp actually work end to end. Because if it doesn't work, for me personally, when I'm maybe if I have an issue and I'm trying to go through an article and immediately I try out something, doesn't work, I just leave that article and move on to some another article. So that way, a lot of people will just ignore your article. You won't be getting the premium content you need, like the premium views you need on your article. Because when they try out this, is not working, it's showing up error, and I don't even know where the error is coming from, I'll just leave your article and go to someone else's article that will tell me, prove to actually solve my issue. So that way, you need to ensure that it works end to end. And when you are done with all of this, like you're sure that all of these criteria have been met, you can actually publish and roll out. You've just written your first technical article. So it's not so difficult. It's just follow the steps, step by step, and you'll see that at the end of the day, you can actually call yourself a technical writer. You don't when you write when you call it, you don't put in bracket, oh, I've written 5 articles or I've written 2. As long as you have written 1, you are automatically a technical writer, right? So it doesn't matter how many you've written. That is it. Okay, so why is technical writing actually important? First of all, it expands your technical knowledge in respect to research, because one thing you would notice that with the more you read, the more you know. And when you have to write articles, you have to read more and more, because I believe that there's really nothing, except probably for new technologies, but talking of older technologies, there's really nothing you want to write about that has not been written before. That is the truth. So you want to write about the best way to actually best practices in SQL, someone has written it before. So there's really nothing you are thinking of that somebody has not written before. So what makes you actually stand out is the fact that you are doing more research. So probably you read an article and you notice that, oh, this person is supposed to talk about this, but did not talk about it. That is a topic for you. Just write about. So you cover up all of those lapses. So you read a lot of articles and then you figure, okay, this person is missing out on this. Okay, jot it down. This other person is missing out on this. Pick out those things that people are missing out on and then write about it. That way you are like the gap in between missing links in other articles. So when it comes to technical writing, it improves your knowledge, because when you read, you know. So the best way that you would want to test that you know something is to write about it. Then when you write about it, just expands your technical knowledge about a lot of software practices. Then the next one is an active or a passive source of income. This is like a major reason why many people go into technical writing, because you can make money from like cool cash from technical writing, that you can make it actively your source of income. I have friends that they don't have like a job as a developer, but as technical writers. There's a guy I know, probably might know him online, David Herbert. So he does a lot of writings. Every month he's pushing out articles every month, and this guy is living well. So that kind of way, you feel that people are taking as actively their source of income. And then those that actually have a job, but they just want to like write on the side and make extra cash, because right, too much money is not too much, right? We want to make, even Dangote wants to keep making. So who are we? You have to keep making more money. So just like a side hustle, you do your job, and then on the side you write for people and then they pay you. It's a cool source of income too. It also improves your writing and communicating skills. Like I said earlier, simplifying technical terms and then communicating these terms. Something that I know that has really helped me is communicating, because earlier on when I was in school, I don't talk. I'm this kind of reserved person. But when I started writing and I've had feedbacks, and they will tell me that, oh, and the way I explained it was so like they've never seen a form of explanation before. When you write, you take yourself out of the equation and write it like you are the reader, because there's a way you will communicate and expect, oh, I expect that the writer should know what API means. What happens if the writer doesn't know what API means? So you always have to put your readers into play. So when you are writing, write like this reader. Like if I was the user of this, like I had a problem and I'm trying to read my article to actually solve my problem, would I understand this? So you need to learn how to communicate your ideas properly, and also improves your writing skills. Number 4, it also builds brand and then increases connection. Like I've had like a lot of persons connect with me just because I write. Like when I actually still do development, right? But I think most of my connections have been due to the fact that I write, because they're always like, wow, so you write, can you write for us? Like that way I have a lot of international connections, and you'll be like, what? Why do you actually need my service, right? Like, what do I know? But if I was just developing, I would have just been stuck at my company and just doing my work, and my life is revolved around coding, submitting PRs and all of that. But when you write, you reach out to like wider range of audience. A lot of people read your article, a lot of people get insight from your articles, and then they want to increase connection with you. Then you make friends, and those friends in the future can actually be the one who actually help you to grow in your career. So number five, a great sense of user empathy, where you learn how to put users' needs before yours. Just like what I explained in communicating, you have to always learn how to put your users' needs before yours. You don't write like you expect that they should know. You expect no, don't expect that they should know. Write because you want them to know. So that way, your users are always first in whatever decision you are making as a technical writer. So that's like one very important thing that helps in. It also helps to this user empathy when you are building products. Other than being a technical writer, when you are building build products that are user friendly. So somehow these skills are being transferred into your career as a software developer. So it's more or less very much intertwined. So there are some useful tools you could use for technical writing. This is not all encompassing, right? But these are like the ones I use and the ones I feel like you should know. For researching, yeah, you could use Google, Quora, Stack Overflow, very, very important. For writing, you could try out Google Docs, Dropbox, Paper. All of these have like how would I put it? They have extensions that you could include code samples. So it just makes your work very easier, right? So Google Docs, there's something called Code Block, which is an extension. Dropbox Paper, it has an inbuilt block for writing code. So you can use for note taking, like probably you're just trying to take notes down. Maybe you're just researching and you're trying, okay, you're getting something. So you might be just being in transit and something just pops up. You can use Notion, you can use Evernote. For editing, you can use Grammarly. They are free versions and they are premium versions. Anyone you'd want to. There's Hemingway app, there's Qbot. You can use that for paraphrasing also. And then for publishing, you can use Devto, Medium, Ashnote. These are like they have free. You can have like a free profile on this particular publishing platform, and then you can just start your career from there. It's absolutely free. For documenting, you can use Gitbook, Swagger to check for plagiarism, because that's like a very, very important thing. You wouldn't want to publish an article and then Google is tracking it down that these are plagiarized text. It's not good for your career as a developer, as a technical writer, because trust me, you will be dragged. They will drag you because they will always find you. So you could always, but probably you are worried. Okay, since you did a lot of research on multiple places and then you copied and pasted in your article, you'd want to check if any text is being plagiarized, and then you can edit it or um, rephrase those texts. So you can use plagiarism detector or Qtext. So, okay, a brief story on how I actually got my first paid technical writing gig. It's a long story because it's like it was unexpected. I wrote my first article in 2019. It was like an assignment I had. I needed to write. So I wrote it out, and then my mentor was like, "Oh, you did very well. You should keep this up." So I started writing. Every time I learned something new, I write about it. It was not the best of the best, right? But I kept pushing it out there. I got better along the way, right? So I kept writing. I think up to like 2021, I kept writing. Like if I have any free time, so sometimes 2 months, 3 months, I just kept writing. I never knew I could make money from it. But then at some point, I now saw there was like a technical writing job. I saw a friend sent to me from the US, and then I applied. I just wanted to try my luck, right? Let me see, because I feel like I don't know enough that somebody wants to pay me. I feel like I just write. So who want to pay me for what I know? I submitted, and the lady got back to me like she's really impressed. I got an interview, right? All of these things were like I wasn't still believing that I was moving to the next step. When she told me I'm like, okay, I passed. Really, I kept on moving, and then she was like, okay, it's an hybrid position. I have to be in the US for me to. But the fact that at some point I was no longer involved. Like when she told me that was the reason why she couldn't move on with me anymore. I felt really happy because the reason why I dropped out of the interview was the fact that because of location and not because I wasn't good enough. So that was just the support I needed. As soon as she told me, I just picked up the application letter I sent to her and started sending it across. Like there's a blog. There's an article I actually added at the end of this presentation, written by Idris. Like you can send your article samples to some couple of blog company that would pay you. Then I picked that up and started sending to. I sent to about 15 blog companies. I just kept because I feel like if she could approve that I was this good, that means I believe I was this good. I could send it across to others, and then I sent it to about 15 tech blogs, right? And I got response from I think three. Yeah, three. I was really surprised, and they were like, "Oh, they really love my article. They would like to continue with me." While some go back that okay, probably because then I was still doing purely like JavaScript, and they're like they don't need JavaScript writers right now. Probably they're looking for .NET. Like so, at the end of the day, it's not all about if they don't get back to you. It's not because you are not good enough. It's probably because they don't have a need for your stack at that point in time. Of recent, I got someone got back to me again, like since 2021. Somebody just getting back to me about an application I sent in. Things like then they had like an influx of writer applications, and somehow they missed mine, but they are just getting to see mine now. So you can see it's not like because you are not good enough. Probably something could have happened, but it's not your fault. So that's how I started sending applications, and then I got one, and that was it. Just getting the first one paved way for me getting every other one. The most one that was very funny was that I write for Strappy, and then I kept writing for them, right? While getting paid, I was still increasing my brand, and then I got voted for the best featured writer in a particular month. That was in 2022. And then I that was like a big deal for me. Like of all persons they could feature like best writer of the month, I was the one. So that was I just screenshotted it and then posted it on my LinkedIn profile. And after posting on my LinkedIn profile, one of their partners actually reached out to me through them. When he told me like he trusted that Strappy would not make a mistake, and for Strappy to employ me, that means he can actually employ me, and that's how I got in with another client again. So it's all about just I feel like the only thing is just to get one. Getting one paves way for others. So that's like just like a brief story of how I actually got my first, and since then it has been like a smooth ride, and it has been really awesome. So how do you get noticed and then get a technical writing gig? There is no encompassing list or steps you need to take, but these are like um how would I put it? These are advices or these are things that I did that got me a gig. So I can always tell from experience, right? So it's important that you own a personal blog because the first thing we have Ashnode. I used Ashnode. Yeah, I have a dev tool profile too, but I don't know. I don't just like their interface and I don't really do a lot of writings there. So you can also use it because they will always ask you, can you submit a sample? So where do you submit your sample? You have to have a blog first of all because they want to see that you've written and then they can trust that you can actually deliver if they give you this gig. So I don't know, you have to have a personal blog and you should be comfortable doing a lot of personal research because as a technical writer, you don't expect that they would spoon feed you. They expect that they give you a topic and probably give you the best they can give you is an outline. Oh, and then let you go do the work. So there are times I've had to research on things I've never known. Sometimes I get a gig and I'm like, where do I start from? Where do I start from? You have to do a lot of personal research because it's never too much. You have to keep, they will not spoon feed you. Expect that you should go ahead and do this. And this is why they are paying you. Technical writing involves research. So you have to do a lot of research on your own and not just probably you hit a blocker and then you reach out to them. Oh, I don't know what to do from here. At some point they'll see you as this person is not competent enough and they give someone else. So you need to be able to do your own part. And then when you are stuck and you know that okay, this is like no one else can actually help me here, then you can now reach out to them. But usually do your own personal homework too. The next one, ensure you have the technical skills to get started. I've had a lot of people reach out to me that okay, can technical writing be done in a non-technical by non-technical people? I really don't know how to answer that because I feel like from the term itself, it shows that it's technical. So you have to be technical enough to write technical articles. You can't write on React if you have not done React. So how do you want to do it? Would you want to go and start reading on it? If you go start reading on it, it would take a, a React developer lesser time and more knowledge to actually write better. You can bet a React developer write better than a non-React developer. It's not like you might be a Node.js developer and they ask you to write on React. That's still fine because it's still all of that JavaScript. The fact that you have domain knowledge in something, you can easily pick up something else. But you don't just tell someone who has no technical skill or no technical background to just start picking up technical writing. It can work right with determination, but it's going to be like you miss out on a lot of things. You need to have the technical skills actually to be able to actually get started. That's like a very important thing. Next one, write as much as you can. There is nothing you won't say, oh, this topic is already out there. Write about it. There is definitely something new you are bringing to the table. So there is nothing like I have too much articles on my blog. No, keep writing, keep writing, keep writing. Next thing is take corrections and handle criticism professionally. Yes, there are times like earlier when I was writing, I've made mistakes. I think the time I wrote about object-oriented programming, I just learned it and I had to write about it so I can be sure that I actually knew about it. And I made some couple of errors while writing, and there was a guy that actually reached out to me and like on my comments, he was correcting like what I should have done better. And I handled it professionally. Oh, that's really nice. I learned a lot from the corrections he gave, and then I updated what I already had out there. That shows that if if a client gives you a project and they come with correction, you can actually take that correction well and then implement the correction and make it better. So you should not be like, oh, somebody reaches out, oh, I think it should be a let instead of a var, and you're like, who are you to tell me what to do? This is no, no, no. You don't do that. You learn every day. There's always someone that knows better than you. And when the person is ready to correct, take the corrections and undo. If the person is being very rude about it, you should find a way to handle it, and don't have to be rude too. Just handle it professionally so that in the long run you are not biting yourself like for future, because this recruiters actually go through your profile even though you don't know, they go back into time. So if you mess up somehow in replying to someone or you are being rude at some point, they see it as you are not mature enough to actually take up a gig, or you are not professional enough, and we don't want that like smearing our reputations. The next thing, most importantly, share your works with your network. It's very important. As a writer, if you are not so active on Twitter, you should be active on LinkedIn. You just have a place where you share your work, where people would see it, like international audience, a global audience. You can share it on your WhatsApp. On what mostly I do, I share on my WhatsApp. I'm not so active on Twitter, right? But I do share on Twitter once in a while. But my LinkedIn is like where I'm more focused, because I feel like I get more connections, my Twitter is not so professional, right? But my LinkedIn is more professional. I get a lot of professional connects there, and I feel like they should see my work more so I could get more references from them. So I focus more on it. So you just have a place where you have a lot of connects and then share your work. Even though you don't have a lot of, just keep sharing. People are seeing it. There's a time a lady reached out to me and she personally requested, like, she had to speak with me. Because usually I usually get feedbacks on my comment. Oh, this article was great. This one, she had to call me to my DM. I'm like, she has seen a lot of articles on this, but this has been like the best so far. I screenshotted it and I was like, these are like one of my proudest moments, because at that point you are writing feeling like these things are out there already. But you are coming with something unique. There is something in your article that is not out there that somebody is going to learn from, and very importantly, see a lot of people. So always write, share. Yeah. So that's it. And there are a couple of sites that actually pay to write. You can try out Twilio, so they pay about $500 per piece. Smashing Magazine, $250 per piece. Log Rocket, you might have heard all of this, $350 per piece. And then there's like a comprehensive list, which I could share the slides later with um the coordinator so you guys can check it out. This is like a comprehensive list that I actually used. So there are about 45 websites. So all of these sites, they have their requirements. Some are mostly front end based, some are back ends, and this back end they have different technology. Some focus more on Java, so there's like whatever niche, even for UI UX for P. So whatever niche you are in when it comes to tech, there is always someone that is ready to pay for you to write for them. You just need to check them out and check where you belong to, which particular part works for you, and then send an application. The most they will do is reject you at that point. And when they reject you, it shows that okay, they actually saw your work. You write more, you improve more, and then you also send again. So there's really nothing like they've rejected me once. That's it's not no. It's your loss, because write more, you improve yourself more. So like the least you can get. So when it comes to like pays you get for technical writing, there is no high, there is no low. So it all depends on the company. Some pay as high as 500, some pay as high as 750. I saw an application for We were looking for data science writers in data science. They were ready to pay as high as $800 per piece. So it all depends on the demands of the company at that point. Some pay as less as $100. Some so and these are just foreign companies. There are some local based companies that are ready to pay you for your articles. That's if it works for you, fine and good. But I would advise you just target some of these foreign guys because they pay better than Nigerian. I've had a Nigerian client reach out to me to pay, I think, write 4 articles for 100,000 naira for four. I'm like, that's like a piece 25,000. Wow, that's really not worth my time. So I had to reject it and give to someone that could actually do it. So these guys, Nigeria, they would not really rate you so well, but these guys abroad, they have like a fixed rate. If this rate doesn't work for you, move on to someone else. So they give you a lot of like flexibility. So these are like example of sites that pay to write. And we've come to the end of my session, and I would just like to end it with like, a writer is not born. You don't born, a writer is not one that, at birth it was crowned a writer, but a writer is being made, right? It's a skill that you can acquire along the line, the same way you acquire skills to read, we acquire skills to write. So thank you very much for listening. Thanks.
Wow, thank you very much, Mary. I enjoyed every bit of your lesson and teachings. And I'm not a technical writer, but I learned a lot, and I'm sure going to apply all the skills that you just mentioned now. So please, if you have questions, when the question and answer session, if you have
I can stop sharing,
questions, you
right?
can use them. Okay.
Okay.
No, you can
Can I
leave
keep
your
sharing?
screen.
Or I should
Yeah,
stop?
you can actually.
Okay.
Okay, so if you have questions now is the time for you to ask all the questions you can. Like, you are one-on-one with a technical writer, and you have heard from her. She has a lot of experience, and now is the time. You can use the raise hand button, or you can type your question in the comment section. Okay, so who is going first? Okay, Gabriela, please, you can come on and you can unmute and talk.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Hi, Mary. Thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. So before now, I just used to think technical writing is basically for just maybe front end and back end developers, but like you just mentioned, that writers are even needed in data science, and I was really surprised. So I'm more into data analysis. So is there any particular like search I can do on LinkedIn to get like or um technical writers in data analysis, or is there anyone you can point me to? Then to start writing in, let's say, data analysis based topics, um how basic should they be? I really don't know. Like, should they be really basic, or very, very technical? Then what should be the length of, like, the word length? Like, how long, how short should your articles be? Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks for the question. For the first one, I really don't have anyone I could point you to. But as I said, I'll share this presentation with the coordinator, and you can check out this comprehensive list. You could check it out. All of these blogs, they have requirements. There are some that actually take mostly data scientists. So you can check out drafts. I think the company I saw was drafts.dev. So you can check them out. I think they are taking applications for data scientists. And just check out these blogs. You read them, it's a link, you click on the link, you see their requirements. If requirements fits what you can offer, you apply. If it doesn't, you move on to the next. So it's like about 45, and this blog actually has more references. So there are more. There are actually a lot of blogs that actually would pay for a data analyst. So just check the blog out. You don't really have to check on LinkedIn. Just check this one out, send applications to them, and then stating, some just state your skill set, and probably keep it in pending. And when they need, so these guys, what I noticed about them is that they maybe in a month they have rollout for front end developers, so they mostly roll out articles from front end. The next month they roll out from back end. So every month they have what it is they, so it might be like that particular month you applied, They don't have rollouts for data science, but they keep your profile. When they have rollouts, then they reach out to you. So just apply to as much as possible, and then check out the ones that are very much specific on AI and data science, so you can apply to them, so they can have your profile active. And the next question is, was like the amount of length, right, of words. I think there is no
What level?
amount word length. I'm not really sure. If you are just starting out, there is no stated amount of word length, except when you are writing for a blog and then they tell you, oh, we don't want articles more than 1,200 to 1,400. Then you can now streamline your word length to fit into that. But as long as you're writing, like starting out, you just want to put out the content out there, keep writing until you have passed your message. It could be as little as 500. Fine. We've seen articles that are just 500, but it has given you what you wanted. So word length is not like a criteria for good articles. Pass out what you want to pass out. And then if the word length doesn't matter, but when you start writing for blogs, and those blogs will give you like the amount of word length, maybe above 2,000, above, then that's when you now start being concerned about word length. The third one is I'm not sure. Can anyone remind me? Okay, how basic
I think
can it be? Yeah. Starting out, they're really like not basic or not. What I usually do when I was starting out, well, because sometimes you have this thing where you, this is writer's block they call it, where you don't have anything like what should I write on? Like what exactly am I supposed to write on? So what I usually do in that instance is while I'm working in my job and I see a problem I have, like I'm trying to get the difference between async and wait. Like what's the difference between async and wait and then using fetch? Why? What's the difference? I write about it. So any issues, I write about issues I'm having. That's the way I get my topics, funny enough. If I'm having an issue or I don't know how to do this, and then I read about these things and I'm still not getting good enough content out there, but somehow I finally get the content out there. I figured out that okay, there is no good content out there on this particular topic. And then I was able to figure out the issue. I immediately add it amongst the things I want to write on. So that's the thing. As long as you're having the issue, someone else is having the problem. So starting out, I usually write about issues I'm having, or maybe like a very something I find very interesting. Maybe I worked on something I'm like, wow, I can't believe this actually worked. I write about it. I don't care if there are like 1 million articles of it out there. I don't care. I will still write about it because it's interesting. I want to put it out there. And funny enough, when you write about these things, you give it a fresh perspective. And then someone else reads, I'm like, oh, I think this is like a new way I'm looking at. So just keep writing. Even though sometimes you have like 10 views, or maybe just have the number of views of your WhatsApp friends that the only ones that can view it, it's fine. I'm sharp. I'm putting it out there. I don't care who sees it or who doesn't see it. I always keep putting it out there until one day the right person sees it, right? So since you can't control who sees your article, just do your best. So there is nothing like it has to be too basic or it has to be not so basic. As long as you are just writing for yourself, keep writing. Except when you start getting paid job start, these companies will now tell you, okay, write on this. That scenario, you don't have a say on the topic. You don't have a say on the outline. They give you all these things themselves. So it even makes your work easier when you don't have to rack your brain for what should I write about. They already have something for you to write about. You just pick one thing and then you write. But starting out, could range from something you find very interesting in your field, something you had an issue with in your field, or maybe one very new technology in your field, something very like a very new feature in your field that I feel like somebody should know about. You write about it. So there's like a lot of things you could write about. It doesn't have to be basic or not basic. Just write basically. Yeah. So I hope I'm able to answer that question.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mary. Mary, we have another question in the comment section. Can you please
All right.
explain what you meant by you need to be technical to be a technical writer? Like what technical skills are involved?
Okay. Um why would I okay as you need to be technical. When I meant that is like you have I don't use the word developer, right? Like the person that asked the question, she's a data scientist. She has to be a data scientist to write about topics ranging from in data science. You can't ask me now. Now I do basically I can manage front end articles because I used to do it, but I moved to backend. So I can write on topics front end, backend. But if you give me an article to write on data science or on AI, it's going to be a lot more difficult for me compared to the lady writing on data science. There are so many things. Even if I go ahead to say, okay, I can learn it and then research on it, there are so many things I will still miss out because this is not your field actually. There's no way. The same way you cannot tell me to go and start hitting like being a carpenter, go and hit furniture. So you give me everything I need, but I don't know what to do with it. So you have to be technical to be able to write technical articles. If you want to write if you're a product manager, I can't give you a topic on Node.js that you should write about async awaits. You would not, because even though you have all the research materials and be like, okay, you already have a lot of things to, at the end of the day, you just be copying and pasting because you don't even know what is happening. You cannot run this is someone that cannot run a command in the terminal. Don't expect the person to be able to write like a well-detailed explanation on how to do something, maybe as a technical writer. So you have to be technical, you have to have the domain knowledge, even though not 100%. Domain knowledge, like at least you can do the basic things. You can print, you can console the log, you can those basic things. These are like at least those are like the basic skills as a developer you should have. So if you are writing as a UI UX designer, you need to at least be able to, you should have a Figma account at least. You should be able to move your tools around. You should be able to know what your canvases are. You should be able to show those basic things. How to, at least you should be able to create a simple web. You should be able to create the same way you cannot ask me now to come and write an article on UI UX design. And I feel like, okay, the money is good. Let me write on it. My dear, I'll just be deceiving myself because I don't even know what the pen tool. Like, it's been a while. Like, how does the pen tool move? Like, you can't know those things. No matter the amount of research you do, it will not take you a longer time, and you will not be able to give like a well-detailed or a well-researched article because at that point you are just writing to submit. You are not writing to know because it's not inherent. Maybe you just have to give yourself a bit of maybe 2 months or a month to actually learn this technology very well. Ask experts, let them explain, then you can now write on it. That's a different thing. Like you want to do research and then know this skill and then write on it. It's different from you are writing as you are learning, as you type what is Figma. You see what is Figma, you copy it and you paste it. No, that's copy and pasting. You are not writing, you're just copying what has been written before, and that's not original. So that's what I meant by you need to have a technical skills to actually be a good technical writer. You need to, even if you need time to learn these skills so that I can, okay, let me give myself like 1 month, 2 months to be able to learn these skills. And then after the first month, you can now pick up writing. But people are able to actually research and write about things they don't know about. I would not suggest that. I would always suggest you know well, because there are a lot, when you put out these articles out there, there are a lot of professionals that read your article and they would know that this person doesn't have good, like enough knowledge about what you're writing. That's why I see a lot of like half-baked articles. You see an article that is just a replica of another article, another blog. It's just like, did you guys just copy yourself? It's just like copied everything word for word and put it, and then you expect me to believe that it's original. No, you'll be an article, a technical writer because your articles are out there, but people you just be angry because they're just like, no, you cannot really expect. She's just writing what has been written before. There's nothing new with what she's doing. That's just the limitations to not being technical enough to actually write. Yeah. So that's what I mean by that. Hope I'm able to answer that. Is there any other question?
Okay,
Okay.
we have another question. I believe you can see it. Are there any other courses you can recommend?
At least the one I recommended earlier that was for tenses, right? Google technical writing course. It's a free course. You just take it. But for learning like a good technical writer, I think there's some couple of courses on Udemy or Coursera. But currently, I can't recommend any because I haven't taken any other course. Me bumping into technical writing was like, how would I put it? I never really took up any course. I just got better along the line. Like I'll write my first article was, sometimes I go back and I'm like, I can't believe I wasn't I wrote something like this. So you just get better along. If you are trying to learn, do a lot of courses here, you can tell me, you can confirm that when you take up courses like this, most of the time you don't complete them. You just maybe first 5, 6 videos and then you're already tired. But when you are applying this knowledge as you write, you learn more. People give you feedback. Ask for feedback. Like tell your friends feedbacks are welcome. Let them know. Don't hold back. Like tell me what you think I should do better, and they tell you because they are the ones reading these things. you implement it in your next one. If you have to take up courses online, there was a course I applied for one time. I did not see it through because I was like, I've not finished my my taking courses in my work as a developer. It's now writing. But along the line, I keep growing. I keep growing. If I have to take up courses, I will take up courses and then implement them. So it's a thing of you are implementing what you are reading, that kind of thing. But I really can't recommend any right now. But this is the only one I like. I really did. I really did this, and yeah, it was really nice because at the end of the day, you find that there are so many things that have to come with just writing. You don't just write because it comes to your head like that. You put down your draft, and then there's something I use Quillbot. Yeah, this helps a lot with paraphrasing. So you write it, and then it tells you better ways you could structure your English. So in that way, you are sure that you are giving out premium. At the end of the day, you finish paraphrasing, you'll be like, wow, I can't believe I was on I wrote all of this. Like the English, I'm like, this is really impressive. So all of these things have helped out in making sure your grammatical errors are being reduced and you're pushing out like very premium articles, right? So I can't recommend any course on technical writing right now, but you can take up that on Google technical writing for English language. Yeah. So as a novice, how will I start? Like I said, just start. As a novice, I want to believe you are in the tech field, right? What exactly do you do? Are you a software developer? Do you do design? What is your niche exactly? And then first thing, what do you think when I was starting, what did I have issues with? What was the problem I had with? Is it the fact that I did not get a good content on starting out as a product manager? Then you're able to surpass that challenge. Someone else elsewhere is having that challenge and they don't know how to surpass it. That is an article idea. You write about it. So at the end of the day, it's just look for challenges. Especially starting out, you would have a lot of problems that you're able to surmount somehow, but it took you a longer time because there were no good content out there. Push them out. So what are the steps, practical steps? And I think these are what I actually have explained here, right? Did I just start writing, right? Start writing every day if you have to dedicate like 2 hours or 1 hour. Usually, sometimes when you work, like, during the day, like from 9 to like the whole day, you are busy working on something else. Then in the mornings, sometimes I start writing as early as 6, sometimes by 7. I write like 7 to 8 before I start resume my work. That 1 hour alone has done so much in progress because you've moved from where you were yesterday to somewhere else. So there's really no time, but just start writing, dedicate 1 hour. Okay, 1 hour each day. I'm going to write about something. I'm going to like improve. You don't have to write about something in 1 hour because I believe like what do you want to write about in 1 hour that will be encompassed? That means you won't do enough research. Maybe just pick up an article or just pick up a topic that okay, this I would like to push out 2 articles in a month and then break it like that means one article in 2 weeks. Work towards it and you find that in 3 months you have pushed in like 6 articles. You have moved ahead like that. So just follow through the steps I actually listed here and just take it a step at a time. Don't rush yourself, don't push yourself. Just give yourself you can actually have accountability partner. Maybe two of you like, oh, let's do this together. Encourage each other. At some point when that person is done, I'm like, I don't think I can continue, but the other person is there like, oh, if I don't continue, I'll be the one holding this other person back. I'll feel like I'm not serious enough. It pushes you because you'd want to be accountable to your partner, that sort of thing. So if you find like not so easy for you, get a partner that you can be accountable to, and that has really helped me too. Because sometimes, yeah, we understand how it is. So basically, that's how to get started. If yeah, so I think I've answered questions here. If,
Okay, Mary, thank you very much. Wow, like you are really killing the questions. Thank you. Okay, please, you have
yeah.
any other question? Don't miss this chance to ask. I doubt you have another opportunity to come back on technical writing. So please, you can use the raise hand button, like I said now, to ask your questions. Is there anybody like that? Nobody. Okay, we have. Okay, Ophion, please, you can unmute and talk. Hello, can you hear me? Of your Etsa, you can talk now. Okay, I don't know why she's not talking. Okay, is there anybody that has questions again apart from her? Okay, I don't know if we should wait for her or not. Any other question? Um, okay. Okay, I guess we have come to the end of this webinar. I'm sure everyone enjoyed herself, herself, and thank you very much for joining this webinar. Mary, thank you very much. Like, I'm actually starting out as a medical writer, and oh God, I'm going to take all the skills that you taught here, and I'm going to transfer them to my medical content making skills. And thank you very much for coming. Thank you for accepting my invitation. Thank you for honoring me. I hope to keep in touch with you. We can, and also the slide, for the slides, we'll get back to you. You can send it to me, and then I'll send it to everyone that signed up for that Sunday today. Of young Etta, can you hear me now? Oh,
Yes, I
okay,
can.
she's
Can
not
you hear
talking.
me?
Maybe.
Hello?
Okay, yes, we can hear you. Okay, let's take your question.
All right. Thank you so much, Mary, for this wonderful presentation. I just have a little issue with these skill bolts and these other recommendations you made.
Okay.
Like I don't know if they are apps or they are like websites.
There are websites, right? You don't need you to. There are websites. You just keyboard is it's a website. You can just keyboard.com. Is it? So
Okay.
you just here you just send in your typing when you are done with your content, you paste it here and then just paraphrase this for you. That's if you are not using something like I use the premium, right? So the premium is kind of it has an extension also. You can incorporate your extension into Google Docs. So when you have a Google, so you just if you as you're writing, is like it's paraphrasing it for you. So you can include it as an extension, or you just have it as a website, and then you paste in your content, and then just paraphrases it for you such a way that it changes. You know what paraphrase mean, right? Just rewrite your text like in a different way from what you wrote it from earlier. Yeah, so that's what it does. So they are mostly websites. They are mostly websites. I don't think there's an app anywhere. They're mostly websites. Yes. I hope I answered that.
Answer. I hope she cleared it out. Okay, she's on mute now. She cannot hear me. Oh, okay. I think this is the end of of this section. Okay, please remember to fill the feedback form is in the comment section. Please fill it out so that we like to know what you think about this webinar. I'll put it there for those that have not seen it. Please fill it and join us next month for another webinar. I don't know what topic we're talking about, but to show be as interesting as this one. Mary, thank you very much. Thank you everyone for listening today. This is GirlLEAD, and you can check our website for
Thank
other
you.
for collaborations. We have programs that we do offer. We have things. Just check us out. Thank you, everyone. Okay, see
Thank
you
you.
next time. See you next month. Thank
Bye bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.